Hello everybody, this is Bronislava. I have a blog, HandMadeRukodelky, with lots of patterns. So if you want, click below. There is a link. Some of you probably remember when I was making this blouse. There is a video. I will go and post a link as well. And so in today's video, I am using the same yarn because I had left, actually I bought 4 balls and I still had 2 balls left and some. And I granted someone actually a wish to do a dress for American Girl doll. And this is what I have done. In today's video, we actually are going to be working only on the dress up to the lacy pattern, okay? That's today's video. And in the next video, we will have 2 videos. I will go and show you the stitch pattern, how to do this stitch pattern and how to finish the dress. But if you don't want to do the stitch pattern, you just could go and knit all the way down and just finish it as just very simple, plain, without lacy pattern dress, okay? And so that's what we will do today. So I need to cast on actually on 58 stitches per my calculations. If you would like to go and learn how to make, how to calculate your Raglan stitches, I do have a video for that as well. Okay. I have 58 stitches over here. And I will knit at least 4 or 5 rows of knit and purl stitches. Okay, so just knit and purl, ribbing, back and forth. And I will do, like I said, at least 4 rows, probably 5 rows. I will see how many I need. Okay, so just knit and purl. Okay, let me go and show it to you in English style as well. So knit and purl. Okay, it just comes exactly the same way, like if you know, like if I go and do it in continental style. All right, so you just use your technique and do knit and purl stitches. Okay, this is my 3rd row. Okay, this is my 3rd row. And I'm going to go and make in my 3rd row a button. So I am not going to knit these. I'm going to go and do knit and purl, knit. Now I'm not gonna knit these right now, but I will do yarn over. I'm gonna go and make yarn over button. We're gonna go and have a small button there, okay? And now I'm supposed to purl and knit, but we need to, because we added 1 stitch, which is going to go and make a hole there. Okay, so we need to go and knit 2 together because our 2nd stitch is knit, so we will knit 2 together. Let me go and stretch it a little bit here, and we will knit 2 together. Okay, and this way we added 1 and took 1. Okay, and now we need to purl. So knit and purl. Now I'm going to just continue knit and purl stitches all the way to the end. So this is my 4th row. I will knit my yarn over and purl and just continue knit and purl. Okay, And here you can go and see that I have a small hole for a small button. So I have 5 rows of ribbing, all right, and we need to put markers in there now. I will have edge here, and then we need also markers for our raglan. I will do my my edge here with 4 stitches, which is knit, purl, knit, purl. Now we will put 1 marker in. So we have 4 stitches and I need 13 for first half of my back. Okay, so I need to knit 9 stitches. 1, 9. We're going to go and put marker. Now we need 5 stitches for first sleeve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Marker. So these are our raglan markers and this is our edge marker, okay? Now we need to go and knit 22 stitches, not rows, 22 stitches for front. 1, 2, 3. And 21 and 22. All right. Now we are going to go and put another marker. 5 stitches for another sleeve. Marker. 9 stitches. Marker, and this is our edge marker because we do already have 2 markers for our raglan, just like over here. Okay, this is raglan, 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 edge, edge. And now we need to go and continue our edge, knit and purl, knit and purl, knit and purl. Now we are going to go and return. We will go and do our knit and purl edges over here, knit and purl, and in between the edge markers, all the way on the ends, those markers, between those we will do purl stitches. Okay. And in the next row, we are going to be increasing. So knit and purl, knit and purl. And now purl all the way to the next last stitch, marker, okay? All right, so I purled to my last marker, okay, and I will do knit and purl edge, knit and purl. Okay, so that was row 6 and 7. In row 8, again, we will start with our edge, knit and purl, knit and purl, knit and purl. Now we will knit all the way to our stitch before the marker. So we will be basically increasing in 2 stitches right here, okay? before marker and after marker. Always before marker and after marker again. And again over here, before marker, after marker, and over here before marker and after marker, okay? And this we don't increase in here. This is just a reminder for our edge, okay? So we are going to go and knit all the way to that first marker, to the stitch right before the marker. Okay, so we have that stitch, and what we will do is we will increase right below that stitch, and then we will knit the stitch. So we increased by 1 stitch. Okay, we are going to go and move the marker. We will knit the stitch first and then increase below it. Okay, so we always want to increase before the stitch over here on this side of the stitch, and over here we knit the stitch after the marker, and then increase by knitting below this stitch. Okay, and we are going to go and knit again to our next marker, which means next stitch before the marker. We will knit below it, then we will knit the stitch, then we will knit the stitch, and we will knit below it. Okay, you need to knit below the stitch before you knitted it, so that means 1 2/3 on this side. Okay, and I will continue with these two the same way. Okay, so here I am again, so I will knit below that stitch. You see, right now it's only second 1 and 2, right? Second stitch from the needle. But once you're finished with this, and once you go and knit this one, then it really is the 3rd stitch. Okay, I just want to let me go and show it to you. So we have this stitch, then we have this stitch, and we are in a 3rd stitch. Okay, I hope you can go and see it. 1 2 3, so it always becomes that it's a 3rd one. So don't get confused over here that we are doing it in the 2nd stitch below first and then in a 3rd one. No, because that one, after you knit it, will really becomes a 3rd stitch. Okay, so we will knit this stitch first, and now we will knit into the 3rd one below. And we will knit and purl edges and purl in between. And I am purling all the stitches, including the increases. Okay, I just wanted to show you. And this is my increase over here. This is my regular stitch, this is my increase. All right, just purl all the way back. Okay, so we knitted our first increase and basically purled back, right? Right here, we purled back. And we're ready to do another increase, because we increase When we are working with Raglan sweater, we increase every other row. Let me go and show it to you over here. Okay, just like over here, I've been increasing every other row. Okay, and instead of actually knitting below, I think I was knitting in between the stitches. Okay, but what I wanted to go and say is that I will keep it just as simple as this one. I will keep going over here. Okay, so I will make my raglan, connect the body, I'll show it to you, and then I will keep going with making this into a dress. This is a blouse, but I will just keep going. You know, this blouse has a skirt, matching skirt. So instead of stopping over here, I will just keep going. Now over here I worked with color work, right? But since I have only a single color over here, I decided to make some type of fun pattern there also. But I will go and do it at the bottom of the skirt just to make it simple for you people. And you can go, when I go and do the pattern here on the bottom of the dress, not the skirt but the dress, the skirt part of the dress, you can either knit, if it's going to be very complex for you, you can just knit, you know, all the way to the length, desired length, or you can go and follow me when I'm making the pattern. And that probably is going to be a separate video. And I wanted to talk about this as well. Since I am knitting this same way like this one, where we are going to be buttoning, we will button our blouse, right? Over here as well. And we will be overlapping 4 stitches over here in the back later on. I will show it to you as well. I will show you how I will be attaching the body, the front to the back. Okay, and I will start you also on the sleeves, that you can go and decide if you want short sleeve, long sleeve. Okay, but right now we are still doing the increases, so it's going to be like this actually. Okay, so we are going to be, we still need to increase several times. I'm losing my stitches here. So we still need to increase several times until we reach over here. So every other row I will be increasing. Okay, and you can go and do the same. So I will repeat this increase row. So we are increasing by 8 stitches each time. All right, and when I have the length, I will go and connect the body. All right, so I'm starting to be very very detailed again, as usual. What else is new, right? But for people who are learning, that's the best. Anyway, so I will show you how I am increasing one more time. It is going to be in English style. So we need to knit and purl first 4 stitches. And purl. Sometimes when I'm doing this, because I'm not used to it, I add stitches. Okay, wait. We need to go in the back. Okay, and now I will be knitting. I will be knitting all the way to my stitch right before the marker. Okay, so here we are. Oops, I almost knitted it, you see. So what we need to do now is we need to knit below that stitch. Okay, below that stitch, and now knit the stitch. Move the marker, knit the stitch, and knit below the stitch. Okay, knit and hold it with your fingers when you're doing it this way. Okay, knit to next stitch that needs to be increased. I always knit it's less tight. I knit more tight with my regular continental style. This comes usually looser. All right, so now I will again knit below the stitch. If you need to hold it, you can go and do it, okay? And then knit the stitch. Move the marker, knit the stitch, bring it down and knit below the stitch. Knit below the stitch. See how I'm helping myself? Okay. So, and continue like that. All right. So, basically, like I said, knit, increase on the knit side. All right. This is my second row of increasing. So we knitted basically a 7 and 8. And then, no, I'm sorry, that was 5, 6 and 7. And then we started increasing in row 8. And this is, and then we purled back in row 9. And this is my 10th row, okay? And then 11th row, I will again purl, except those edges, all right? And then the 12th row, I will go and increase. And so on until I have, let me go and measure, until I have 3.5 inches. When this measures 3.5 inches, okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, or wherever you are, maybe afternoon. So I finished this part yesterday, okay? And I'm ready to go and work on this project some more. So let me tell you what happened. So after I increased 12 times in 24 rows, again, every other row I increased, right? On this panel and this panel, I increased by 12 stitches because I was only adding over here on this side. In this panel, I was increasing on 2 sides. So 24 stitches here, same here, 24 stitches here, and same here, 24 stitches, okay? And as you see also that I weaved in my yarn, so I can go and connect front. This is my front, this is my back, so I can connect front to back. So let's go and start connecting it together, the back to the front, all right? So now if you did a buttonhole on this side, then obviously you need to go and crisscross those 2 back panels this way, right? The buttonhole has to stay on top. If you did it on this side, then you need to go and crisscross this way. So what we need to do is we need to knit together 4 stitches, which is this stitch with this stitch, the one next to marker, then this to this one, this to this one, this to this one, Let me see how many we have. We have 4. Yes, 4, not 5. Okay. I almost thought I had another one in there. Okay, so so these 4 stitches need to be knitted together. Okay, so what we need to actually do is we should move these stitches in such a way so it would be easy for us to knit them together. All right, so I will take first these stitches and move them to another, those 4 stitches, and move them to another. Let me go and do it this way. Let's move them to this needle. So I'm doing it on the wrong side, but we will be turning around. Okay, we don't need that marker anymore because we will be knitting stitches. We will not be knit and purling our edges. Okay, so now let me see. So we need to actually have this stitch first because this one is gonna be on top, and when we go and knit 2 together, this one has to be always like second. Let me explain it to you. Look, like this, and then we will go and put this one, and when we knit these 2 stitches together, we're going from this side, so this stitch is going to be on top, okay, not below. This one is going to be below this one, and that's what we want because this part is supposed to be below this part with the buttonhole. Okay, so now we need to go and take this stitch and move this stitch. When we knit it together, this stitch is gonna be, the second stitch is gonna be on the top. Now this one and this one, again, this stitch is gonna be on the top. I'll show it to you shortly. And this stitch and this stitch. Okay, so now we will go and get rid of this marker. So we're reshuffling the those stitches just to make it easy on us. Now we have to go and start moving these stitches back onto this needle, okay? All 8 of them, because this is where we need to start with this yarn. All right, but you know what? Let me tell you, we need to, let me see, we need to move this yarn in the back. Okay, and we need to knit these stitches. Oh, one more. Hold on, one more. I didn't get that 8th stitch, the one that is supposed to be, the one that is supposed to be below the first one. Okay, so make sure. Okay, so this is where we had our marker. So we need to have 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't forget that one stitch that needs to be below this stitch. Okay, and this is where we had marker before, right there. Okay. Okay. I'm so detailed. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Okay, so now we are going to start knitting these 2 together. And if it's hard for you to get in there, I usually go like this. I stretch them a little bit, and then I go and put my needle in and knit. Now, as you see, I am knitting again continental style, and you would do it because I wrap yarn with my needle, but English style knitting people wrap the yarn with the hand. You see, look, this first stitch is gonna be below this stitch after we do the knit stitch. Okay, so it will be nicely below and not on top. Exactly how it should be when you are connecting, overlapping two panels. Okay, look, see, this needs to be below. All right, so now we are going to continue knitting, and I will continue in my continental style. So I will knit all the way to the end. All right, so here we are. And now we need to add, I will add just one stitch, just one extra stitch. And I will do it this way, just make crisscross here in the front, not in the back, not like this. Although you could go and do it that way too, but I like to do it this way. Okay, and now actually we need to put half of these stitches, on my next needle, because we are going to be knitting in the round. And some of you are probably knitting with circular needles, so you can do the same thing. I mean, you can knit with circular needles, but don't forget to use the magic loop, right? So you would go and have a loop in here when you would be knitting. I think that's about half of it. Okay, and this way I can easily knit in the round. So I added one stitch right here, right there, and I will continue knitting, and I will tighten my stitches in here. Okay, and I will continue knitting entire row, which means I will knit all the way to here, and then we will add right here another stitch for underarm. So we added one stitch over here for underarm, and then we will add stitch for underarm over here. Okay, now if you're knitting with double pointed needles, what you want to do always, tighten this stitch or two of them and next two stitches. I always pulled on them. That way I do not have that lather that some people get. So just, you know, make sure that you tighten it up, and you will not have it. I never have lathers when I am knitting on double pointed needles. Okay, here we are. I am done with my last one, and I will again add one stitch for underarm, and then I will continue knitting the back, and the back becomes right here. This is our back, right this. Okay, so let's go and do it. And again, tighten up these stitches because they definitely will loosen up a little bit. Okay, tighten up these stitches. and then start knitting with regular tension. Okay, and you see how it's getting over here very loose? So we definitely need, we're starting new row, and we should mark it that this is our first row, just in case we want to count our rows. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have a ditzy teacher over here. So I went to get my marker, right? And when I wanted to go and continue, I started continue knitting, but I turned my camera off. So I have to explain to you what I was doing. So when you get to the point where it is really loose and you don't want lather between these needles, so you really do need to tighten up these stitches, right? But also, if you have like really loose stitches like I had over here, and you can still see it, what I do is when I start knitting my next stitches, not only I make it really tight, but I also pull these stitches, few of them, each time a little bit less. So I tighten up the stitches over here next to it. So I get that lather out of there, you know, the mark when you go up the, some people get it when, you know, that they have a like line over here. That is called lather. So I always try to avoid that. And these are my tips how to do that. Now I already knitted, I think 3 rows, and I am going to go and make a design over here. I decided I would like to go and weave in a little ribbon that is going to make it prettier and not so plain. I will be soon starting to make my holes. So let me go and see how far I am down here in the back, in the middle of the back. That's our beginning. That's where we have to practically start. So now I have to think how many holes I want, and I have to do some math over here. So I put my markers in where I want to have holes, and I try to come up with the best solution. So over here, I started basically in the back. Now these 4 stitches that overlap are my middle, and then I did 4 stitches to this side and 4 stitches to this side. So that's 12 stitches. And then I did 12 stitches this way, 12 stitches that way. So I have 4 holes in the back, and then I counted 12 stitches over here, 12 stitches here, and the same thing, 12 stitches here, 12 stitches in here. I have 4 in here also, so that's all together it's 8 holes, and in the middle of here I have 10 stitches. Okay, I've got 10 stitches over here, but that's okay because we're gonna be making the bow in here, and so it's not gonna be any problem. We could not go and make it any other way because we have 94 stitches altogether. What we really needed, okay, we needed to go and weave in. So if here we would go and have a bow, so the end would come out this way, would go in out and in and out, and over here in and out, in and out. So we need those ends to be out in the front over here, okay? So I am basically now set up for my holes, which are gonna be in each of these markers. All right, so we will be doing yarn overs, but before we do that, I'm going to go and purl entire row. So here we are coming to the end of the row where I purled every single stitch, and we will start making those holes for our ribbon, okay? So we will knit all the way to the marker except the last 2 stitches. Here is the marker, 2 stitches. We will knit these 2 stitches together. We will do yarn over and we will move the marker. We will knit again all the way to the area where there is the 2 stitches before the marker, which means 10 stitches, right? Okay, I have 2 stitches before the marker. I will knit them together, yarn over, move the marker. Let me try to do this in English style. We will knit to the marker, tighten up. I'm not very good at this, am I? Almost there. Tighten up. Two more stitches, almost there. It's very painful for me, but I have to show it because some people just don't understand how it works. Okay, now knit 2 stitches together. Yarn over, move the stitch, move the marker. I'm confused. And keep knitting to the next marker. All right, and then I will show you what we will do next. This is our last yarn over. And actually we can start taking these off. So we will just knit these 4 stitches. Okay. And we will knit entire row. So this is our beginning, right? Beginning where we always begin. So now we will knit entire row, and we can go and take all those markers out. So when you get to your yarn over, you will knit it, and you can take your marker out. We will not need it anymore, and knit. So we are going to have holes for our ribbon. Again, let's knit all the way to the yarn over, knit yarn over, and take the marker out. All right, all the way to the end of the row. All right, so here I am at the end of the row. Okay, and you can see the holes every 12 stitches. Okay, now we will do the same thing what we did over here, that we go and purl entire row. Okay, so this is gonna be like our little section for the ribbon between the purled rows. And if you will not have a ribbon, you can go and make a little twisted thread and put it in there as well, not necessarily just the ribbon. So after I'm finished with purling this row, I will knit several rows until I reach desired length before I will start making another pattern. Okay, so here I am finished with my purled row. Okay, and you can see that I have all these holes for ribbon. And so now what I will do, just keep going straight down until my desired length. And then I will go and make another video actually how I do a pattern, lacy pattern at the bottom of the dress. Okay, so I'm going to go outside and knit in the sun because I've been locked up in here with videotaping and editing and I need some sun. So here I am again. As you see, I weaved in my ribbon just to show you how it is going to look like. Okay, so it's weaved all around the perimeter. And here is another ribbon that is in a pink, and that would really go beautifully as well. And I'm thinking about changing it into this pink ribbon. All right, so what do you think? White or pink? Now I already finished one of the sleeves. All right, and I will show you today how I will go and finish this sleeve. How, you know, I will start you up and then all you have to do is knit ribbing, knit and purl, and I did 6 rows over here instead of 5. Here I have 5 rows, here I have 6 rows. And then I just bind it off the stitches. Okay, one more thing, that I am finished with my kind of finished with the length, but I told you I will add a pattern here at the bottom. Okay, so that is gonna be in a different video, but let me go and show you how I will go and finish the sleeve. First, actually, I want to move all the stitches from the yarn onto my little tiny needles. Okay, so we will just put our needle into the stitches. Okay, so I put hopefully all my stitches on my needles, and we will just try to pull the yarn. Let's go and do it like this. Now we are going to go and find the middle, that one stitch that we added when we were attaching front to the back. Okay, and that's this stitch right here. So this is where we will start, and then we have pretty big gap over here, so I will put 2 stitches here. Okay, so I will start here, add, cast on 1, 2, 3 stitches, knit 29 stitches and then cast on 2 more stitches. So you will basically, if you will do the same, you will end up with 34 stitches. Okay, so let's go and do that. So we will cast on first stitch right in the middle. Now we will cast on second stitch and cast it on in such way that you don't have holes, okay? If you do it here, you're gonna have holes, so I usually go somewhere in there. Now we will go and cast on another one, and I will go right here. Okay, can you see what we're doing over here? Okay. You can either knit with both strands, and you can go and keep wrapping it around a little bit. And that wrapping is going to go and help you out a little bit. Okay, now I will knit 29 stitches. Okay. When you knit 29 stitches, you need to cast on 2 more stitches. I don't want to do it here. Look, it would go and create a big hole, so I'll go right here. And 1 more right here. And let's go and put these 2 stitches on our last needle. Okay, now we just will start doing our ribbing. Knit and purl. Knit and purl. Of course, I'm tightening on my first 2 stitches because I don't want any spaces, I don't want any ladders between my DPNs. So knit and purl your stitches all the way to the end of the row, and then repeat that 5 more times. So here I am finishing up my 6th row of ribbing, and now we will start binding off. Okay, so I just knitted in around 6 rows of ribbing, knit and purl, and now we will bind off. So I knitted first stitch, purled second, and I will pull that stitch over the last knitted stitch. Knit and pull over the last knitted stitch. And now we have purl stitch. Okay, so I will just bind off. Should I try in English style? Maybe I should, huh? And pull that stitch over the last knitted stitch. Now we need to purl. Purl this stitch. Bring the yarn back. See, my stitches are very loose. Okay, so that's how you do it in English style. That's how you hold needles when, or better than me. All right, so let me go and finish binding off, and then I will go and say goodbye. All right, so here we are with the last stitch. Let's go make a knot. Later on we will go and weave it in. All right, so we're finished with the sleeves, and let me go and finish talking to you about the dress. So you do, oh look, I already have a button there too. You see how cute? Look at that. Just need to block it a little bit. This is supposed to go over each other, which is doing perfect. Okay. And we have the ribbon. Okay, and so this is what I want to say. So you have a choice, okay? You can either just finish knitting the length of the dress and then finish it with ribbing, and then you will be finished, and then of course weave in all the ends, or watch my other video how I'm finishing this dress with a lacy pattern. I was coming up with some ideas over here. Oh, this is something else, not this one, but this one. Let me go and fold it. This is my other project for later on. I am already working on another project. I get crazy over here with all the ideas. Anyway, so I kind of created a pattern over here. I'm not sure how I'm gonna finish this, but this would be knitted going down like this, and then finished with, not with the ribbing, because it would go and shrink the bottom kind of closer together, but I will just do knit and purl rows. One row purl, one knit row, and I'm not really sure how many of them I want to have after I finish this pattern. And this pattern is 10 rows, so another 10 rows, which would be about up to here. So if it's like up to here, let me go and grab the doll. Okay, so another about this much would reach a little bit above her knees. But again, you can go and determine your own preference. If you want a really long dress, you could knit really quite down, or even repeat. If you will want to do the lacy pattern in here, you could also repeat several panels of the lacy pattern as well. You know, you can go and adjust it to your style, to your ideas. All right. And besides that, you can go and see below my video, check for links, link to the blog and the written pattern. Don't forget to like my video. I love when you like my videos. You can comment anytime. Don't forget to share it with your friends and family. I really appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel and follow me on social media. And you will see me another day.